Great tape. You can't really do you're always saying bad things. Let me ask you about Mike.
How are you? Hi, Roy.
How you doing?
Hey, good to see you. Hey, Mayor.
Good to see you, Congressman. I'm jealous. On the way out.
Okay.
Independent. Yeah, you do.
Congratulations. What have you done now?
Well, I think that's terrible. And well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is that they wanted to bring all those terrorists from.
How you doing?
How are you? How are you doing? Ryan Kelly. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I've been screaming for Roy down and Steve Gerard. I just came up for the weekend and they're like, Rudy Guliani. Well, yeah.
3.5 hours? How you doing? Just wanted to see you. Thanks for helping us. You're very welcome. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Bacon and stuff. Working hard.
Thank you.
Over 700 events, every county, making St. Louis one of his favorite destination spots here over and over again. You know, it's really about very important issues, and Roy Blunt is the only candidate who has a plan for real jobs for both Missouri and for America, who is going to protect our freedoms and is going to rein in all of this excessive debt and spending. So we are so thrilled that he is here again today, and that we've got the Mayor Rudy Guliani, with us. Let's hear from Mayor Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, and now please welcome the man who's going to be your next United States Senator, Roy Blunt.
Thank you.
Sandy, where is she?
Sandy almost in the front. We've got to wait for that phone for just a minute. Come up here and stand between Anna. Sandy is the leading caller in the United States of America. Not that I might not be able to exaggerate, but this is not one. 22,000 calls. I don't think anybody in the country has done anything like that. And she's done it for us right here, almost every call here in these headquarters. And we're glad to have all of you here doing what you're doing. 39 days. It doesn't seem like that long ago that somebody told me it was 94 days. Like maybe that was about 5 or 6 days ago. So 39 days will go quicker than anybody thinks. This event tonight that the Mayor and I will be at Hunter Farms will be my 748th campaign event in Missouri in the last 18 months. And all you've got to do whatever the chairman tells you. At least that's what Ann told me was all I had to do, was just do what the chairman says. And we've been listening as well as talking. So you can go to royblunt.com. As you're talking to people on the phone, I know you're telling that. You can go to royblunt.com. You can look at a jobs plan that focuses on people creating jobs, not the government creating jobs. It focuses on private sector job creation. The two biggest questions I hear out there from people are, where are the private sector jobs, and why is the federal government spending so much more money than it's ever spent before? You can look at healthcare solutions and find the things that we could have done that a whole lot of the 72% of Missourians would have thought was a great thing, instead of 72% saying we don't want to be part of the plan. And Mayor, the day after we voted on that plan, they asked Robert Gibbs at the White House in the briefing room, what does it mean the first time ever hundreds of thousands of people voted anywhere in the country on this, your health care plan, and 72% of them said they didn't want to be part of it. And he said, it means nothing. That was his answer. It means nothing. Then the next day they asked Kerry Reid the same question, and he said, oh, it just means they don't understand it yet. And I think both of those were pretty strong indications of the problem in Washington right now. Either what we think doesn't matter, or we're not smart enough to think what we think in a way that would make it matter. And I think actually the more famous thing that's going to go down in the history of this health care debate is Nancy Pelosi's comment, we'll know what's in the bill after we pass it. After we pass it. 16% of the economy, your family's health care, your health care, the country's health care, and we'll know what happens after we pass it. But as Ann Wagner said, as Ambassador Wagner said, over and over again, year after year, election cycle after election cycle, Rudy Giuliani's been coming to Missouri, helping us, and not only do they not chant Rudy when other people walk in, they don't chant anything when most other people walk in, Mayor. And it's great to have you here. Remember on 9/11/2001, the mayor of New York City, when he heard that there was an attack on the city, didn't run to the place, the command center, he ran to the side of the problem. And that's the day. The day he began a process that within just a few days he clearly became America's mayor. There are a lot of great mayors in America. There are a few great mayors here today, but only one of them, when you say America's mayor, the American people know you're talking about Rudy Giuliani. And Rudy, thanks for being here to help us. It's great to have you here today.
Addition, man, I keep thinking one of the best things for me that's going to come out of that election, what's coming up, is going to be, I don't have to see this Pelosi person on television. But thank you very, very much for being here, for Roy and for the Republican Party. Look, you know all the issues. I just have one thing to add to it. This is really a serious situation. It isn't just politics. It isn't just the usual. This is the most important election, and there's things that always get said. It isn't even about Republican and Democrat. It's about our country, and our country is being guided very, very much in the wrong direction, and in a direction of very, very heavy government involvement and takeover of your lives. They've taken over automobile companies, and they've taken over financial institutions, and they've taken over health care, and they want to take over energy. They've taken over student loans. This isn't what works in America. This is what makes us different is our vital private sector, not our very large government. And what we need, the way out of this, is to invigorate our private sector and to downsize our government. That's the way we get out of this. Roy Blunt understands that. He understands that that is what is necessary in order to give us the kind of recovery that I think our economy wants to make, that this administration, Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, are stopping. I think their policies are stopping the recovery that would like to happen if people weren't afraid of enormously high taxes and even more government spending and even more government regulation. I mean, just the idea of 15 or 20,000 more IRS agents is enough to frighten anybody. This is exactly what we need, right? 15 or 20,000 more internal revenue agents. These are the jobs they want to create. They're going to have, 30,000 people trying to figure out energy, and another 20,000 people trying to tell you when you can go to a doctor and can't go to a doctor.
It's all right.
Probably, and they probably won't even be working all that hard. They'll probably have, you have to call voicemail if you want to go to a doctor. You'll have to do it by voicemail, and then they'll get back to you in 3 days. Press 1 if you have cancer, press 2 if you have a heart attack, press 3 twice if you're dying. This is what they have in mind for us. They really do. But he will be someone who can really stand up with great authority and stand against stand against this, and move us in exactly an opposite direction. You know, they keep accusing us of being the party of no. The reality is, the President and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid never include us in anything. And the things that they want to do are so fundamentally wrong that we have to, out of good conscience, stand against them. But the ideas that Roy has and his colleagues are much better for our economy. Straighten out healthcare through the private sector. There are 10 different things you can do to straighten that out. Give people more control of their own money. I mean, I don't really care, at this point now, where the government is taking taxes. The government doesn't need any more money. The government doesn't need any more money. They should take a penny more from anybody, whether they want to call them rich, middle class, upper middle class, poor, very poor, in between. The money is better off left here in St. Louis and in Missouri and in California and in Oregon and in New York, so that people will spend the money. And they won't hire the 20,000 IRS agents and the 10,000 more bureaucrats. That's what they want to use it for. So we need this election really badly. And that's why I think I see so many people here. I mean, this is a very impressive number of people in a very enthusiastic group 39 days before an election. This is what I feel usually 3 or 4 days before an election. It is fabulous. You're all to be congratulated. Keep it up. He's ahead. I would be just not telling the truth. It looks real good here. It looks real good a lot of places, by the way. A lot of surprises this year, I think. But this looks good. But sometimes you can get fooled when things look good and you don't work hard enough. We can't make a mistake this time. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you all. Work hard. This is the only poll that counts is the one that's taken on Election Day. And remember that fight in Washington has been a fight between the Democrats and the Democrats. As we're talking to our friends all over Missouri, this agenda is too extreme for the Democrats in Washington. So believe me, it's way too extreme for a whole lot of Democrats in Missouri that you and I go to church with, see at school, see at work, run into over and over again at the grocery store. They are not where they've always been. And every one of us, matter of fact, some of us here, everybody here knows somebody who's never been involved or interested in politics before, who is now fighting mad and waiting for Election Day. And a few of you fall into that category. And 4 of you raised your hands already. And I'm glad you're here. 39 days. Let's make it happen. Thanks for all you're doing. Back to the phones. How's that?